and welcome to Weekend TV Watching with Mz.ChiGurl, and I'm your host, Mz.ChiGurl. Hi, how are you all doing today? Are you ready for this early edition of Weekend TV Watching? Well, first of all, are you ready for Thanksgiving? Have you finished, or you cooking, or are you getting it catered? Because like with me, I'm getting it catered. I'm not cooking. Actually, what's funny is that I'm supposed to cook a few dishes and I really don't want to. And so I'm thinking about how can I get this other stuff done, because your girl don't feel like cooking. It's actually been a difficult week for me. Trying to get motivated to talk to you guys. You know, it's like I try to come here and talk to you guys about positive vibes and stuff, and it's like I haven't been vibing like that. And so today seemed like it was a pretty good day, and I said, well, let me try get it done, because I need to get it done before the holiday actually gets here and I need to cook. So let's get started. So the first things I wanted to talk about, or not the first things, let's talk about what's streaming. So on Netflix, Kevin Hart released another comedy special on Netflix. It's actually trending #1 from, I want to say, the weekend. I want to say it came out on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't Saturday, then it was yesterday. #2, I'm surprised about is the what do they call them? The WWF Raw, the wrestling stuff. That's #2 right now on Netflix. #3 is a series that I just finished watching called The Beast in Me, and I actually recommend it to you guys. It was very interesting, and all I'm gonna say is, if you liked All Her Fault, then you should like The Beast in Me. But to me, The Beast in Me was actually better than All Her Fault. So there's not as many roller coasters and swirls and twists and turns, but it is a good watch. #4 is Man Inside, and #5 is Stranger Things, because the Stranger Thing premiere is actually tomorrow, the 26th, and it will be the 5th and last season of Stranger Things. I actually got into Stranger Things, not this summer. When was it? It was probably September, October, because they started advertising it so soon that I thought that it was going to be premiering in October, and it didn't. And so I almost watched all the seasons. So I'm in the middle of season 4, and then I stopped because I was like, season 5 isn't coming until November. Well, I might as well doggone wait, because I like to binge stuff and watch it all in sequence. And so I didn't want to have to get to 4 and then be like, now what happened? And this and that. Although I still might do it. But I will say what I was surprised about with Stranger Things that was very nostalgic for me, as far as the accuracy of how they're portraying the 80s. It really reminded me of my childhood. And I'm sorry, y'all, but I think the 80s were great. I had a great childhood as far as I can recall. Not that I wasn't a little moody somebody, but I think the 80s were great. And I kind of wish, things were, I don't want to be like our current president and talking about making things great again. But I don't understand. You know what? I'm going to just leave that alone. Let's just leave that alone. Anyway, moving on to Peacock. Peacock has the premiere of Bel-Air. I want to say that premiered either this weekend or yesterday as well. I never got into the reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I've heard good things about it. Has anybody else watched this show? Let me know what you think. #2 is still holding strong. Is All Her Fault on Peacock. Then we have Law and Order SVU. I heard they killed off a regular. I'm not sure who it is. I haven't watched SVU in, I want to say, probably pandemic, a good 5 years. If it wasn't the pandemic, it was the writer's strike. One of those things took me out and I never went back. Number 4 is The Real Heights of Potomac. You guys, if you're a Potomac watcher, you got to see this last episode. Stacy took care of business. I know Stacy be lying just like Mia be lying. Mia's stuff was like crazy lying stuff. Stacy stuff, it's like, okay, whatever, girl. If that's what you say, I just know not to trust you. But what's funny though is that Stacy gets Kay together every time, and I love it. And she don't seem like she's scared of nobody. Like, the girl was like, put your finger in my face one more time. And she was like, and what you gonna do? And I was like, yes, Stacy. Tell them you don't care how big or small you are, that you can handle them. And then on Peacock is another show called St. Dennis Medical. I haven't gotten into that, but I might at some point. On HBO Max, we have The Conjuring Last Rites. And so I actually watched that, after it had such a big box office draw this year. I thought that it was going to go back to the way it was like in 1 or 2. I was disappointed. I was like, they could have kept this just like they could have. It wasn't as bad as 3, but they could have kept this one. I thought it was going somewhere where it was really gonna engage me at the end, but it didn't. I was just disappointed. I'm sorry. I'm just always disappointed lately. Anyway, if you want to see the Conjuring universe on streaming, you could catch them on HBO Max, and so now they have all the latest movies as far as the Conjuring. I heard there's another Annabelle that's supposed to come out. So, the Conjuring universe goes on, but I think the Conjuring itself is done for. This was supposed to be the last one. Number 2 is Elf, with the holiday season coming. It looks like everybody does Elf and the Polar Express and Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Those are number 2, 3, and 4 on HBO Max. And then The Wizard of Oz, and I'm assuming that's because Wicked is out. And now they're getting into, I guess, connecting it to the parts that link to The Wizard of Oz. So if you're into The Wizard of Oz or Wicked, you can check out Dorothy and Aunt May and the Wicked Witch all on HBO Max. All right, now let's talk about what's going on around town. Oh, and before I get to around town, I just wanted to tell you guys, I finished watching a series on Netflix that you may be into. It depends on if you're into spies or FBI crime dramas type of thing. So there's a show that was called Absencia that initially was on Prime Video, and it was out from 2017 to 2020, and then the series ended. It wasn't canceled. They purposely made it 3 seasons because they felt that was a good closure point for the particular character in that series. But now it's on Netflix and it's showing 2025. So I don't know if this means that Netflix is going to try and create a new season or what. But if you're into, like I said, crime thrillers, that's what I think I would call it, then you'll love Absencia. I binge watched it and I really did like it. It was like there were nights, and honestly, it messed up my sleep schedule. I was up to 3, 4 in the morning watching seasons because it was so good. I was like, I gotta see what happens next. I gotta see what happens next. I gotta see what happens next. So, if you're into those type of shows, definitely check out Absencia on Netflix. Now, let's talk about what's going on around town and what's on TV. So, I think I came up with a few good things for you guys that you may be interested in. So let's talk about the box office weekend winners. It looks like that this past weekend was a good weekend for Wicked for Good. It debuted at number one with 150 million. Number two is Now You See Me, Now You Don't with 9.1 million. Dang, that's a big drop compared to number one. Number three is Predator Badlands. And it's at 6.2 million for this week, but a total of 76.2 million since it's been out. Also, this Predator is supposedly the best Predator in the series, is what I'm hearing. But I don't know. Like I said, people have been. I apologize. Not the best one in the series. It says Predator Badlands is the highest grossing Predator movie in the U.S. box office history. So the other Predators didn't gross as much money as this particular one. So I guess the assumption is that this one is supposed to be better. I don't know. But I'm into the Predator universe as well as the Alien universe. And so I will check it out when it comes to streaming. Next, it looks like they made a reboot of Running Man. I'm so tired of reboots. I really am. It's like they don't do them any justice. And it's like some of them, what was the point? Last is Rental Family. I haven't heard of this movie, but it looks like it stars Brendan Fraser from The Mummy, and it debuted at number five. So if you're actually into going to the movie theaters, check it out. Next is if you're into Married to Medicine, season 12 premieres this Sunday at 8 o'clock. So if you're looking for something to watch after the holidays, you can definitely check it out. And when I say holidays, I mean Thanksgiving. Next is Riddick 4. I don't know if you guys are into the Riddick universe, but I am. And it looks like Vin Diesel is going to bring Riddick back home to his planet of Furia. If you know the story of Riddick, then you know that he's actually supposed to be the last one from his planet. But I guess I don't know what they're gonna do. So, because it was my understanding that Furia may not exist anymore, and that's why he was the last one. But they must be throwing something in the mix where it wasn't completely destroyed, and there's some people still left. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, when it comes out. It looks like it doesn't say when it's scheduled to come out, but I'm assuming it's going to probably come out 26, 27. Next is Wake Up Dead Men, a Knives Out series. I mentioned this to you guys before that it was coming out in the theaters. And so it looks like it comes out in time for Thanksgiving, which is actually tomorrow. But what I didn't know is that it's going to be premiering on Netflix. So it comes out on Netflix on December 12th. So I can't wait to watch it and see how it compares to the other two. Next is Drew Hill. Now, I always love Drew Hill, and it seems like Drew Hill always comes to Chicago in December. Like, I saw Drew Hill at the House of Blues, I want to say. Dang. Was that 7 years ago? Dang. Yeah. And that was like December 12th or something like that. Anyway, they're going to be at the City Winery. They're going to have two shows, one on December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, and one on January 1st. So if you want to bring in your New Year's, I suggest you get your tickets quick because they're probably going to go, well, I don't know. It depends. It depends on the audience. They may want to spend the New Year's out. Like, I don't know if I would want to be out on New Year's Eve, but I might go on January 1st, bringing my New Year with some, tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. So if you're like me, get your tickets now. Next is, it looks like Dave Chappelle just announced a new, what's it called? Comedy tour. And you need to check livenation.com to purchase your tickets if he's coming to your city. I haven't actually looked it up, so I don't know if he's coming to Chicago or not. But again, go to livenation.com if you would like to check out the latest installment of Dave Chappelle's comedy tour. Next is It. Welcome to Derry, the series on HBO Max that I can't wait to watch. The last episode is supposed to drop on December 14th, so I'll probably start watching it December 15th. Anyway, it has already garnered so much success for HBO Max that they have or green-lit the season 2 and 3. So you're guaranteed another 2 seasons of this particular series. And if I'm not mistaken, I read that this is the highest rated or watched HBO series in HBO's history. So, what you think about that? Alright, next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is that Mad Men. And it's so funny. I have been looking for this show because I always heard good things, but I didn't have Showtime. And so I was looking once it was, canceled or whatever they did, wrapped it up. I was looking for it on all the streaming apps, and it wasn't on anybody's show. And, well, not show, but stream. And so it says that in December, Mad Men will stream on HBO Max in 4K. And this will be the first time that it's ever been presented in 4K. So I am looking forward to that. And as soon as I get a date, I will let you know. The next thing is, what are the most watched movies on streaming? So that would be Frankenstein, which I'd like to know, did anybody watch that? The remake of Frankenstein? They're talking about how this was a great version. I did not like it. I'm sorry. Is it because I'm old? I like the old one. I don't understand. And when I say the old one, I'm talking about the black and white one. I don't know why we are constantly remaking it. The story is still the same. Okay, so whatever. Next is House of Dynamite that stars Idris Elba as a president. Then we have the K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know what this show is about. Maybe, it's something for the teens, but it's been on, I want to say, all year. It seems like all year I've been seeing this show, and so I don't know. I guess it's just a constant. Maybe it's a kids show. I don't know, but it's been in the top 5 for a while. Then we have Tyler Perry's Finding Joy, which is on Prime Video. Has anybody watched that one? That one, it seemed interesting, and then I don't know what I saw that happened. I watched it because I watched the trailer this weekend, and I was like, nah, now you done turned me off. I'm not interested. So I didn't decide to watch it, but I was just wondering if anybody else checked it out. And the last movie is called Mango. That's in the most watched movies right now. And I forgot to mention that everything except for Tyler Perry's Finding Joy is on Netflix. And then Finding Joy, again, is on Prime Video. All right. I think this is the last one I have for you is if you were into Jodeci and would love to catch them on tour, they are going to be at the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana. So get your tickets now. They will be there on January 16th. And this is what I have for your weekend watching. If you have any suggestions for something that you think I should recommend for people to do in the city and around town, let me know. I know there are a couple of new restaurants out there that are in the South Loop. One is called Brule, and they specialize in brunches. I was supposed to check this out a couple of weeks ago, but like I told you, life be lifing. And so one of my friends was asking me if we'd go this weekend, and I was like, it just depends on what happens with my mother. So I may or may not get a chance to check it out for you guys this weekend. I'll let you know if I do. You'll see it on my Instagram. Then there's also another restaurant I want to say, and by the way, Brulee is black owned. And then there's another restaurant I want to say. It's called South Chicago. I need to look it up. And it's black owned as well. And it's more like a, I want to say, fine dining slash sports bar. Brulee, though, I'm going to give you that information if you would like to check it out. Is at 2036 South Michigan. And let me see, South. I think it's called Southern Chicago. And it's black owned. And it's at 2000 South Wabash, if this is the restaurant I think it is. I think this is. So if you get a chance to go there before I do, check it out and let me know what you think. And this has been your girl, Mz.ChiGurl, bringing you the latest on streaming and around town. Thank you for joining me and happy holidays. We'll talk to you next week. All right, bye.